Good.
So let us start with a nice, beautiful prayer to keep us all connected. Place your hands on your heart, and known as prayer mudra. Be aware of the love in the heart, be aware of the joy, the tenderness, the sweetness in the heart. And you can silently repeat after me. To the Supreme God, Divine Father, Divine Mother, you can invoke for a spiritual guide, a spiritual teacher, a saint, an avatar. To my spiritual teacher, Grandmaster Choa Kok Sui, to his teacher, Lord Bodhisattva Meiling. To all the great, great ones, to the holy gurus, to the holy masters, to the saints, archangels, holy angels, to the angels of wisdom, to the angels of learning, to the angels of intelligence and memory, to our divine selves, our higher souls, we humbly invoke for your divine light, divine love, divine power, for your help, guidance, and protection. We ask that each and every person that watches, connects to this video, be blessed deeply and profoundly on all levels, especially may their brains be highly energized, highly activated. May they have harmony in their emotional and mental lives. May they have sharper clarity of thinking, better memory, improved focus. We thank you, Lord God. We thank you all in full faith. So be it, and so it is.
Brilliant. Just what I need.
Ta-da!
So, Christian, do you want to just tell our beautiful families a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Absolutely. So, since 2004, I've been helping people all over the world with physical, emotional, mental, relationship, financial, and spiritual crises and challenges through a healing modality known as Pranic healing that was taught to me by my teacher, Grandmaster Choa Kok Sui, the founder of Pranic healing and Arhatic yoga. So basically, the definition of pranic healing is it's a comprehensive system of energy medicine that utilizes prana, or energy, to accelerate the body's natural ability to heal itself. So I'm connecting with you guys from Denver, Colorado. And in this space, people do a lot of skiing, a lot of mountain biking, a lot of rock climbing, and a lot of snowboarding, and they break a lot of bones. So typically when somebody breaks the biggest bone in their body, the femur, it's going to take about 8 to 10 weeks for the bones to set after a doctor has set it and the person's lying in their bed. So doing a pranic healing protocol for broken bones, we've been proven over and over and over again to accelerate the healing process from 8 to 10 weeks down to 4 to 5 weeks. So we cut the healing time in half, which is awesome because it's no touch. So we can do that with physical ailments like broken bones, bloody noses, toothaches, migraine headaches, lower back pain, sciatica, sinusitis, all these kinds of physical things. My specialty in pranic healing is emotional mental disorders, addictions, phobias, anxiety, depression, suicidal tendencies. And it doesn't matter if somebody is 3 feet from me or 3,000 miles away or 13,000 miles away, they can still receive the benefit of a pranic healing session. And so there's an opportunity that Hannah and I had of coming together to share a technique called super brain yoga that has been proven to help children with autism, mental retardation, and that's pretty much covering today. What is the technique? How do you do the technique? And why is it beneficial?
And do you find it also to be beneficial to neurotypical children as well? Anyone that just wants to improve their learning capacity?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Brilliant.
In fact, Hannah, Master Choa, who rediscovered this technique is about 500 years old, that was started in India, and it was called the Ganesha technique. So if you're familiar with Lord Ganesha is not only the Hindu god that is connected to remover of obstacles, but also Lord Ganesha deals with the mind and deals with intelligence. So 500 years ago, when children in India were not behaving in school, they were forced to do this technique to energize their brain, to balance and harmonize their brain in order to be more focused on their studies and to get better grades. But if you've ever played the game Telephone or Whisper Down the Lane, where one person says something into one person's ear, then that person says it to somebody else, to somebody else, to somebody else, to somebody else. Eventually, is that message the same or is it distorted?
It's very distorted.
Very distorted. So think about, that's just one game of doing it with kids. What if that technique got distorted over a 500-year period? So almost all the power and the effectiveness of the technique was lost, but Master Choa Kok Sui rediscovered the technique, revalidated the technique, and it's been used. The technique has been done under brain scans, and they found out that just doing this 1-minute technique energizes the prefrontal cortex and harmonizes the blood flow on both sides of the brain, and it also calms somebody's emotions, and it takes 1 minute to do. So Master Choa says for the ordinary child, if they were to start practicing the super brain yoga technique at the ages of 4, 5, or 6, and they practice it every day when they're in mid-teen geniuses, because their brains will be highly energized and highly activated with prana, or energy, and we also know it as blood flow, and so it's a great technique, and it's very, very simple to do.
We've seen really good results with William, especially. He's used some other techniques alongside this, and at first it was something that we asked him to do, and then very quickly it's something that he has wanted to do every morning, because he is noticing he's calmer, more aware, he's coping better at school, and straight away it's something that he wants to do now. And you know, I'm sure you'll go into the technique in a bit, but you know, we started off with 7, and now he's like, no, I want to do 21. He wants to, you know, he wants to do more and more, and especially after school, he's been coming back and doing it as well.
I love it. And I remember you said the reason is because it makes him feel, you said something like it makes him feel good.
Yeah, it makes him feel calmer. He definitely notices the difference in himself and at school. And he's the one that's like, I think this makes me feel better. I want to do it because it makes me feel better. So I mean, like I said to you before, Christian, we're doing other kinesiology education as well. So his whole routine is just under 10 minutes. But he's singling out the brain yoga as the thing that's definitely helping him, and the thing that he wants to do more and more of.
Beautiful. And as a mother, do you think it helps that the technique takes less than 1 minute versus a 20-minute technique?
Most certainly. Yeah, most certainly. And it's something that we can all do together really quickly. You know, there's no excuses of it being difficult. And obviously, as I'm supporting my children through it, I'm going to get the benefits as well, which is great.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. So that leads us into the book. So there's a book that was written, I want to make sure I give you guys the right date on this. It was written in 2005. So I don't know if the picture is reversed or what have you, but so this is the Super Brain Yoga book that was written by Grandmaster Choa Kok Sui in 2005. You can get it on Amazon. You can also go to uspranichealing.com, like United States, US, and pick up a copy, and they pretty much ship anywhere in the world. But the technique is very, very simple, and it's based on ear acupuncture. It's based on ear acupuncture. So in acupuncture, if you look at the ear, every aspect of the ear is correlated and connected with a system in the body, right? So along the ear, like this part of the ear, I know I have very attractive ears. Thank you everyone for noticing. So right here where the spine is, and then if you go to the earlobe, right here, the earlobe is connected to the head region and the brain. So when you cross your hands over and do the technique, when you hold this part, if you take your right ear, there you go. So if you take I have my headphones on, so I don't want to lose it here. If you take your thumb and put it on the outside of your ear and you pinch your ear, it stimulates the left brain. And if you take your left ear and you squeeze the earlobe, it stimulates the right brain, right? Which is very important, because in order to learn, you need to have energy in your brain. If you don't have energy in your brain, you're not going to be very effective at memory, focus, articulating your words very well, kind of like I'm doing right now, right? I guess I got to do my super brain. So the cool thing is you just do it early in the morning, and then you have the energy all day long for your work, for your studies, or your professional life. So
Coping with
how
children.
can I, yes. So it doesn't just work with children. It works with all kinds of people. And if adults start practicing this technique, there's a great chance that they're going to stave off Alzheimer's as they get older, because Alzheimer's, there's less energy available to the person's brain. And so then you have forgetfulness, then you have very severe conditions with the person's mentality. So for all the parents that have children who are suffering from autism, to give you an idea of energetically what is happening, is that the sex chakra, or the sex center that's located on the pubic bone, that area feeds the brain. So if people have a very strong, very healthy sex chakra, it feeds the brain. What we have found out with children with autism or children with mental retardation is that there's not enough prana or energy in the sex chakra going up and feeding the brain. So the three major chakras that are involved in learning is the sex chakra, the throat chakra, and the forehead chakra. The forehead chakra deals with the nervous system. It also deals with memory. It also deals on a higher level with higher clairvoyance. So people who are interested in clairvoyant or psychic faculties, this is the chakra that deals with that. This is also known as the true third eye. Many people think the third eye is in between the eyebrows, but the true third eye is actually right here on the hairline. Now, if you have no hair, it's still right here. It's not going to be way back here, okay? So this is the point that you're going to be focusing on. So those are the three main chakras that deal with memory. And then the throat chakra deals with knowledge. Who are very knowledgeable. Open up the book and you start clearing the information through the throat chakra. Did I freeze?
It's okay.
I'm
gonna just move. I don't want to miss a single word, so I'm going to move a little bit closer to my Wi-Fi box. So keep talking, and I'll move at the same time.
No problem. So what the Super Brain Yoga technique is doing is it's energizing the sex chakra, and then it's taking the extra energy, putting it into the throat, putting it into the forehead, and putting it into the brain. So at the end of that 1 minute technique, the person's brain is highly energized and highly activated in order to do whatever it is that they have to do that requires their mental faculties. And one of the most beautiful side benefits of the Super Brain Yoga technique, as you were mentioning before, Hannah, is while it's stimulating the brain, it's also calming your emotions. So think about, as teenagers, 13, 14, 15 years old, their hormones are kicking in full blast, and they're having a lot of emotional swings, ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs, right? Which can be very dramatic for them and their parents. Yeah. So if they start practicing this technique at a young age, they start to master their emotions. So their brain is highly energized. Their ability to focus, to concentrate, and to remember is very good, but their emotions are very, very calm, which is actually very important for learning, because how many of us had to stand up in front of the class and give a speech on a topic that we studied for a month and we knew everything about it from start to finish, but guess what happens? We get nervous, right? We get nervous and we completely forget what we were going to be talking about. But this technique helps to calm your emotions, still your mind, so you can do the work that you need to get done.
Yeah, definitely does. Yeah, it's really good. And do you feel like this will help sort of, how can the mothers that have got children that are really not in a calm place, they are very expressive with their emotions, how do we encourage them to do this? Would it be to actually stand behind a younger child and help do it for them? Would you recommend that?
Yes, I would definitely recommend that the parent facilitate the process of taking the child's hands and putting it in the proper ear, a proper crossover, and doing the technique with them until they get more comfortable with the technique. I would recommend do not force, I'll say that again, do not force your child into the technique, because they are going to fight you, they are going to rebel, and they're not going to receive the benefit of doing the technique. So if mom and dad are calm, if mom and dad are collected and relaxed while they're teaching the technique to their children, then they're going to receive the benefit. But if mom's stressed out and dad's stressed out and they're really trying to aggressively force the technique on the child, they're immediately going to rebel and they're not going to get the benefit of the technique. So for young children, what we recommend is there's a lot of modifications to the Super Brain Yoga technique. So let me show you I'm going to kind of demonstrate the technique a little bit for you, but I'll also provide the video. Hannah, you have it. So that's the video you can provide in the link, so people can see it. But basically, what do you say? Splendid? I think splendid is the Australian term. Splendid. So what you're going to want to do is you take your left hand, you cross it over, and you grab the outside of your right earlobe. Then you take your right hand and you cross it over and you grab the left earlobe. And then you take your tongue, you put it on the roof of your palate, you look up, which activates the prefrontal cortex, which is very important with learning, right? It's the newest part of our brain. And then you face east. You face east. I'm not going to give you guys the reasons as to why that's important, but facing east is important. And then what you do is you inhale through the nose, going down. So you're standing up when you do this. So you inhale like you're squatting. So again, we'll have the video for you. And then you exhale as you come up. So you inhale, and then you exhale as you come up. You inhale, and you do that 7 times, 14 times, or 21 times. Now, it's very specific, those numbers you want to keep, 7, 14, or 21. Now, if your child, after a few days of doing, say, 7, wants to increase it from 7 to 14, you have to monitor them and make sure that they're not getting any headaches, that they're not having insomnia, that they're able to focus on school, because what you're doing is highly, highly, highly energizing the brain. So if you put too much energy in the brain too quickly without the body properly assimilating it, you could cause a headache or a migraine, which is kind of defeating the whole purpose, right? So we recommend that you do 7 repetitions in the morning before school for 14 days, and then find out what the feedback is. And maybe you can just stay at the 7 repetitions, and that's fine. Or you can do 14 repetitions for 2 weeks and see how your child responds. If your child is in a, what's the word I'm looking for? Is in an accelerated program and they're constantly having to study, they're constantly having to remember, they're constantly writing book reports, and they're on the accelerated path of learning, then at some point over a few months period, you can get to 21 repetitions in the morning, 21 repetitions in the morning, 21 repetitions in the morning, because their brain is using the energy. But if they're not using the energy, it's going to cause migraine headaches over time, okay? So again, you cross the left hand touches the right earlobe, the right hand touches the left earlobe. If you reverse it, if you reverse the technique, it will have the opposite effect for your child. And it will have the opposite effect for you as an adult. It's pulling energy from the brain and putting it into the sixth chakra.
Wow, that's really interesting.
Right? So if you want to have a good time with your spouse, yeah, when you want to have a good time with your spouse that evening, great technique to do. Reversing it. But if you're using it to become smarter, it's recommended not to do the reverse. So left touches right, right touches left, inhale through the nose going down, exhale through the nose coming up. If your child has severe mental limitations, severe autism or severe mental retardation, you're going to want them to not use their nose. You're going to want them to inhale. You're going to want them to inhale through the nose and exhale out the mouth. Inhale through the nose, exhale out the mouth. The reason being is, in those cases, the energy in the sixth chakra is relatively dirty and this isn't a good or bad, this isn't a moral or ethical, but if you look at the energy clairvoyantly, it's very slow moving. It's kind of grayish red energy. So you don't want that energy going into the brain fully. You just want over time, a little bit going into the brain. So you inhale through the nose going down, and then you exhale out the mouth. Now, what if the child is very young and doesn't know how to do the proper breathing technique? Very simple. As they're coming up, tell them to pretend they're blowing out a candle, or have a napkin in front of them, like they're blowing a napkin. If they blow, they will properly breathe going down.
That's a great tip. That's a really good tip.
So so you don't have to say, okay, inhale going down, because they probably don't even know what inhale means. So you just have them go down, and then as they come up, blow out the candle, blow the napkin, and then when they go down again, they're going to have the proper breathing technique. Yes. So it's going to take practice. You have to practice patience. They have to practice patience, but eventually you guys will get the technique.
That's amazing. That's really insightful. I'm sure that my beautiful families are just going to be excited to get going with this, as we were. And we first discovered brain yoga when William was in a place of, still meltdowns and very uncomfortable, and we managed to get him to do it. And then to be honest, we stopped, and I wish we hadn't. Rediscovered it, and the benefits have been amazing. So really will be something that we continue as a non-negotiable with the boys. My youngest is particularly keen on anything to do with yoga, so he just thinks it's amazing. But his coordination needs some extra support, so it's really good for him. So yeah, we've had some amazing benefits. It's a really easy, quick thing that gets really great results.
I love it. And to give a beautiful testimonial in addition to yours, Hannah. So Master Choa, the founder of Pranic Healing and Arhatic Yoga, the senior instructor, Master Stephen Ko out of Chino, California, when his daughter was 4 years old, she was diagnosed with autism. She had problem making eye contact. She wasn't doing very good in school. But through the process of receiving regular pranic healing, through the process of doing super brain yoga on a daily basis, she graduated from high school higher than the valedictorian. So it's called student exemplary, which is the highest of the high. So she went from being diagnosed with autism to then going back, I think it was about 3 years later, and there was no signs of autism at all. And then she graduated at the top of her class as a high schooler. So
amazing. And that's what I talk about to my clients all the time, that everything is healable, adjustable, that we are energy flow, and that no label or diagnosis should ever define your child's future in any way.
Agreed. And just to let everybody know, I'm not an MD. I'm not a dietitian. I'm not a certified nutritionist. I've been a healer for 13 years and been able to produce miraculous results for clients. Pranic healing is complementary. So whatever your general practitioner is recommending, we don't change that. We say, okay, what have you been diagnosed with? We find the protocol within the pranic healing manuals, and then we follow that protocol. And as the person's condition begins to improve, they go back to their doctor, they do the similar test, and then the doctor will make the judgment call of, time to start reducing your medication. We thought you were actually this part of the scale when you're more of the middle line. And then as more healing is done, then the person begins to get more and more and more normalized. But we want to complement traditional allopathic medicine and psychotherapy treatments because we believe in our experience that people heal faster because of that. So healing is multifactored and multi-causal. Sleep, nutrition, exercise, socializing, medication if need be, whatever's necessary to heal that person.
Yeah, definitely. And especially the families that I'm working with, we're on that journey to detoxify the body, to remove the funguses and yeast that put a lot of pressure on the brain, to move energy flow, to remove stagnation. These techniques used alongside of a proper detoxification program can give you amazing results. And I mean, I know that this to work, even if you were to do nothing as well, you would benefit from it. If you were to do nothing else, you'd benefit from energy work as well.
At least that's what I've seen.
Yeah. But the average, I find the average person that's in tune to this way of thinking and these actions, they're doing many other things as well, because they're really supporting their whole, holistic body.
For sure. My recommendation to all of the viewers is practice discernment. Ask questions. I can't tell you about nutrition as well as a nutritionist. I can't tell you about exercise as well as a personal trainer. I can't tell you about medicine as well as a doctor. But what I am an expert in is energy healing, meditation, and practical spirituality. So for those of you who are looking to understand those avenues much better and how they can facilitate your child's healing process as well as your own healing process as a parent, then I can absolutely assist you in that.
Yeah, definitely. So I'll leave your link below this interview as well, so that they can get in contact with you and listen to your videos as well. And you can share your beautiful wisdom with them in more in depth, because that's what this particular week, where the interview will be at the end of, we've been talking a lot about energy, relationships, energy within yourself. So it's just going to be a perfect finisher to the week.
An honor and a pleasure, and may the good karma come back to you and your family many, 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 many times. All the teachings are credited to my teacher, Master Choa. I'm just the instrument. Yeah,
we're all passing. I like the quote where it's we're all just walking each other home. We're all just one or two steps ahead, walking each other home, and I feel like that's a really nice approach to everyone that's trying to support each other and shine our light out.
Beautiful. I love it, Hannah. You're amazing.
So are you. Thank you so much for your time today, and we will catch up soon, because obviously we've just started to work together as well, which is great. And then I will put all the links below.
Okay.
Everybody can get in contact with you. And thank you so much for your time.
Beautiful. And so shall we close? Shall we do the proper Thanksgiving prayer?
Would be great.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. So everyone who's watching, if you want to again place your hands on your heart in the prayer mudra, be aware of your heart. Be aware of the beautiful pink radiating energy coming from the heart, permeating each and every cell, every particle of your being, healing you, nourishing you, soothing you. And then be aware of your crown on top of your head and silently repeat after me. To the Supreme God, Divine Father, Divine Mother. Again, connect with your teacher, with your guide, your guardian angel, your higher self. To my respected and beloved teacher, Grandmaster Choa Kok Sui. To his teacher, Lord Bodhisattva Meiling. To all the great, great ones. To the holy gurus, to the holy masters, saints, archangels, holy angels. To the angels of wisdom and clarity. To the angels of the brain. To the angels of learning, of memory, of focus, to the angels of healing, to our divine selves, our higher souls, we humbly give thanks for your divine light, divine love, divine power. Thank you for making these beautiful, simple teachings available to the masses, so it may improve the quality of their lives and their families' lives and alleviate their suffering. We thank you. Thank you for allowing us to be instruments of goodwill in the will to do good. With thanks and in full faith, so be it, and so it is. Thank you.
Wonderful. That's going to keep us going through the day.
Yeah, I love it.
Brilliant. All right. Thank you very, very much. And I will say my goodbyes to you now. Blessings in your day.
Bye-bye. Love you guys. Bye, Hannah.
See you.